So we're here today, and part of our strategies that we use, a big one for our families is toileting strategies and getting our kiddos to use the restroom independently. So we call it Potty Talk. And we have a presentation for you today, and it's a lot of information. So we thought we would go through the presentation, and then we will open up if y'all have any questions afterwards. We do have our interpreter, Liz, who's here with us. We were not able to translate the presentation into Spanish fast enough, so if you would like us to email you a copy, we're happy to do that. If you would just let us know on your way out, and we'd be happy to do that. It should be ready by next week, okay? So we call it Potty Talk. This is based on a toileting program by a behavioral psychologist, and it's Fox and Azarin. And here, if y'all would like, this is a cover of the book that the plan comes from. And if you'd like to purchase it, you can. But a lot of the information that we are providing for you will pretty much walk you through what we're doing. So he was a behavioral psychologist, and he is very well known for this plan and the successes that he's had. So we're going to start with, are you ready? That is really the first step in toileting, is you have to decide if your child is ready to toilet. Do you have time to implement this potty program? Because the potty program is an intensive program. It's a very effective program, but you have to have the time. So when I talk with parents, I always suggest, when do you have a week? When you have your child full time. Your child's not going to school, they're not, necessarily having to leave your home every day, but you can dedicate maybe a week to implement the plan. You will have a lot more success if you have a window of time where your child's not leaving your home. The second thing is, pick a week that works for you and other environments such as your home, school, daycare, and other caregivers. As I said, when you have your child in your home and he doesn't have to or she doesn't have to go outside of the home. So make a plan and go for it. Make sure your child's behavior is under control. Behavior struggles can interfere with your child's success. Would we all agree with that one? Behavior has to be under control because it's an intensive program and it's going to agitate your child to some extent. So if you're already struggling with behavior, you might say, let's wait until we feel like that they're ready for what we're going to introduce for them. Make sure there are no medical reasons or concerns to prevent your child from using this plan, such as bladder problems, stomach issues. Because some children, they do have medical issues. Some children can learn to toilet, but maybe there's, something going on that will prevent them from utilizing this plan. So you definitely want to check with your doctor first. If your child's had frequent UTIs, that would not be the best time. If you're coming off of one or starting a UTI, that's not the time to do the plan. You want a real healthy child, want behaviors under control for you to be successful. Signs of readiness. This is another very important part of the plan. Is your child ready? Signs of bladder control. Dry diaper or pull-up after waking in the morning. So your child gets up in the morning, first thing, is that pull-up or diaper dry? If it is, you're like, woohoo! That's a sign of readiness. That means that your child has bladder control throughout the night. Child touches the front of the pants and indicates the urge to go. You see them, doing the potty dance. And that's bladder control. They're holding it. They're not just releasing. That's an indication. Has bladder control and is uncomfortable in a wet or soiled diaper, where they just pull it off. Or, mommy, change me. I'm wet. Things like that is showing you a sign of readiness. Child wants to be a big girl or boy and shows initiation. They go sit on the toilet. Ooh, that would be good. So those are signs of readiness, and that's what you're looking for. I typically see delays in children with disabilities. Rarely do I see a 3-year-old that's toileted. Usually it's closer to 5. And 5 is that's where we want them. We want to make sure by the age of 5, any child regardless of disability, but no medical issues, is toileting or has mastered toileting. Because the older they get, the harder it gets. Because remember, this is a learned behavior, and we have to change it. Okay? Prepare the environment. This is one of the first steps that we do. We want it happy. We want the restroom to be a happy place. So we pick rewards that have high value, favorite things, because we're going to use reinforcers. And so when we talk about reinforcers, we have to realize that they have to be very motivating to our children. So when you're looking at reinforcers in your home, let's say your child loves the cell phone, but your child gets the cell phone whenever they want the cell phone. So then we look at, okay, what's the value of the cell phone? If the child gets the cell phone whenever they want, are they going to want to work for it by sitting on the toilet? They may, but they may not. So it may not be a good reinforcer for toileting. Let's say there's a favorite edible. They like a particular snack, gummy bears. That might be something. Let's say I use gummy bears. I never give gummy bears except when we're doing toileting. So the value is correlated to I get gummy bears when I do this behavior in the restroom. So that's why we look at reinforcers, and we're trying to find something with value. And sometimes you have to try a couple of things before you get to one that you're like, ooh, this is working really good. Provide a reward for sitting on the toilet, a reward for pulling down, pulling up pants, a reward for flushing, a reward for any and all steps in toileting. When you first start, you're rewarding for every step that they do, because those are hard steps. They get easier, but in the beginning, we want to really praise them. Oh, you walked into the bathroom. Oh, you pulled your pants down. You're rewarding with each step. And then you're going to pull that back once your child's consistently doing that behavior. Make the bathroom fun and enjoyable to spend time in. I had a mom who loved SpongeBob. Her child loved SpongeBob. She got a SpongeBob shower curtain. She got a SpongeBob rug, towels, stickies on the wall. She made that bathroom just like the happiest place in the world. He loved to go in there because he loved SpongeBob. So think about your bathrooms and think about what's in there. Would you want to spend time in there? Does your child want to spend time in there? Because they're going to be spending time in there. So you want to look at fun things that you can do, and you can make that bathroom very inviting for them. Place everything you need in the bathroom. I call it the bathroom basket. All my stuff is there. I don't want to have to leave the bathroom because I need to go grab something. All of my stuff is in the bathroom. So in the bathroom basket might be extra clothes, extra underwear, extra wipes, whatever you need. Put it in the bathroom so that everything is taking place in the bathroom. Bathroom makeover ideas. Here are some ideas. Decorate with your child's favorite character, rug, shower curtain, posters. I've had parents put little footprints on the tiles on the floor, and the kid walks in and steps on the footprints. And then the toilet seat. Believe it or not, the toilet seat's a big one, a very big one. So as you can see here, this is a toilet seat that you can find at a Home Depot or Lowe's. It's actually a toilet in one. And you put it on the toilet seat, and then there's an insert right here that you pull down for the child. The child sits on it. Then you can have the toilet seats that are inserts that you put that are soft. Some of them have handles on them. It depends. If you have a little child and you put them on a regular toilet, it's scary. You want me to sit on that toilet with water in the bottom and you want me to do something? They're really scared. So that toilet needs to be comfortable. The other thing is a stool. If they cannot independently get onto the toilet, you need to have a stool, because if you're having to set them on the toilet, how are they going to initiate getting on the toilet? So be sure you have a stool in the bathroom. Make the toilet seat inviting by utilizing the toilet insert, soft toilet seat. This is called a graduated toilet seat. You can find it at home improvement stores. Reinforcers, stickers, charts, cell phone, tablet, edibles, toys, sensory box, books, only to be used while in the bathroom so they keep their value. So here's a reward chart. And I have up here a bunch of different types of reward charts. You're welcome to grab one on the way out if you would like. They're just samples of how you can use stickers for reward charts. We also have, like here's a potty chart. Sat on potty, flushed the toilet. He gets a little check mark or a sticker when he does all of those things. And then we have just generic sticker charts, all different types of things that you could do to reward your child for doing those steps in toileting. Ask yourself, would you want to be in the bathroom? Make it fun. That's the biggest one. If you want to be in there, your child probably wants to be in there. And you can also do, I don't know if anybody does essential oils or diffusers, where you're creating a smell, a nice smell in the bathroom. That's also enticing. Aromatherapy. So the plan is based on facts and a Zarin protocol. This is the people that developed the plan, and these are the basic steps of the plan. When beginning the potty training program, be sure you have regular underpants. Your bladder's full, 30-minute schedule, reinforcement, 5-minute dry pant checks, positive practice, and you stop scheduling after your child initiates. And that means once your child goes without you prompting, that's initiating. So these are the principles of this plan. Yes?
What does reinforcement mean?
Well, reinforcement is what you provide for your child once they do something that you've asked them to do. So the gummy bears, the cell phone, you're trying to find that reinforcer before you start. And that reinforcer stays in the bathroom. That reinforcer only happens in the bathroom. Please remember that. That's very important. We don't reinforce in the living room. We don't reinforce in the kitchen. We reinforce in the bathroom once the child has done the behavior we asked them to do. So pull down the pants, offer a reinforcer. And this is in the beginning. You're going to get a little bit less reinforcing as they start doing it on their own. Okay. Regular underpants. That's a big one. Has anybody at regular underpants yet? Yay! All right, regular underpants. Put the diapers or pull-ups away. Out of sight, totally gone. That's the big one. You have to realize that this is a learned behavior. Your child has learned that they wear a diaper or they wear a pull-up. We've taught them that because they needed that when they were born. There was a period of time when they had to do that. But now your child is ready to start toileting because you've already determined that they're ready based on, are they doing the things that we talked about? Do not go back to them, as this will prolong the entire process. Pull-ups can be used at night and during naps, but make sure they are immediately removed as soon as the child wakes up. If you can avoid using them during the day, then do. So you really, really want to limit use of the pull-ups or the diapers. Have a lot of underpants on hand. Let your child pick them out at the store. That's a big one. Go to the store. Go to the underwear department. Look at all the stuff that they have. Hand your child a package. Let your child touch different ones. We want them to pick something that they might wear. That's a big one. Get them with like favorite characters. Do not be afraid to throw away soiled underpants. I know we don't like to do that, but man, if you're in that moment and it's nasty, I just throw it away. That's just me. Don't stress with the mess. You can't stress. You have to realize that this is a process. So don't stress. It will work and it will get better. Remind yourself that you will still save money in the long run because there's no more pull-ups or diapers. Okay. First step, bladder full. This is very important. Keep your child's bladder full most of the day by giving the child as much fluid as they can drink. Do not give salty foods in order to create the need to drink. We don't want that to happen because salty foods can cause the child to retain fluid. We don't want them retaining the fluid. We want the fluid coming out. So I know when I was growing up, we kind of did that. We thought that was the thing, but it's not. So please avoid salty foods. We just want them to drink a lot of whatever they want to drink. We want the bladder full. Keep juices, water, ice pops, juicy fruits available. Encourage your child to drink frequently. So you can imagine that if we push fluids, our bladder fills up and then it has to come out. So it creates the opportunity for lots of trials. In other words, we get to experience it a whole bunch of times, but we have to have a full bladder so that we start to get that sensation. Nighttime. Stop fluids 3 hours before bedtime. This is physician advice. In other words, if we're giving fluids at real close to bedtime, how are we going to expect them to have bladder control? So you have to help them with bladder control by limiting fluids. I had a mom tell me, but they ask for a drink of water every night. They need water. I'm like, okay, that's good. Here's your cup. You give them this much every night, give them this much, and then give them this much. So you still can offer a sip, a small drink, but not a whole glass of water, okay? Take the child to the bathroom right before bedtime. Pull up is okay to use at night, but remove right away in the morning. And be proactive. Invest in a good mattress cover. That really helps a lot because you don't want your mattress to be destroyed. And there's a lot of mattress covers out there. Walmart has tons, Target. But put a cover on the mattress to make sure your mattress is protected. Reinforce, 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 reinforce. It's very important. That's very important. Display the reinforcer out of reach of your child. So that reinforcer is gummy bears, maybe. So you're showing the gummy bears. Oh, look, Johnny, the gummy bears are on the shelf in the bathroom. They see the gummy bears. They know where they are. They're in a jar that you can see them, but they're in the bathroom. Keep in small amounts if using edibles. I can take a gummy bear and I can cut it into 3 pieces. I mean, don't give them an entire cookie, Give them small cookies. Oreos, Olive Chips Ahoy, they all make miniature cookies. If they like cookies, buy the miniature cookies. Make sure the reinforcer is powerful and has a lot of value. In other words, it motivates your child. Having a powerful reinforcer is very important. This can make or break the program. Because why are they going to do something if they're not motivated? We got to find a way to try to motivate them. Don't be afraid to change the reinforcer if it's not working. So if you feel like, I thought it was gummy bears, but it didn't seem to work very well, try something else. So never, don't just say, I can't find something. Just keep trying with reinforcers. And as you can see, I had a mom whose son was very much into his iPad, but he got it anytime he wanted. So the value was not very high. So he really didn't care about getting the iPad in the bathroom. So she found something called a Newbie at Walmart. And it's like an iPad, but it has games on it. He loved that. Ooh, that was cool. So that stayed in the bathroom, and that became the reinforcer. Okay? Schedule. Take your child to the bathroom every 30 minutes. Stay on the potty at least 5 minutes or until the child voids. Remember to use your reinforcers. So why do we schedule every 30 minutes? Because we're pushing fluids, they're drinking a lot, their bladder's getting full, and then they're going every 30 minutes. So imagine, if you go 30 minutes, how many times are we going to go during the day? Quite a few. Lots of trials. So they're going to start to learn this new behavior that we're teaching them because we're practicing a whole bunch. If the child does not void, verbally prompt them to pull up their pants, flush the toilet if they're okay with flushing. Some children do not like to flush. Don't make that a big deal. If they don't like to flush, if they don't like to flush, it's not a major deal. Just skip that step. Use toilet paper if needed, wash their hands, and then fade away your prompt as soon as possible. It's often hard to remember, so use a timer to remind yourself. I forget. I get busy during the day. I'm going to forget. Set a timer. Use your cell phone. It has a timer on it every 30 minutes. And then collecting data. So these are data sheets. And data sheets as you can see, here is one for weekend and here's one for weekday. And what this does is it tracks the time. So daily toileting report, 8 o'clock. We have a minus sign, sat on the toilet, did not urinate. An A is accident. And a plus is sat on the toilet and urinated. It helps you track what your child's doing, because I'm going to forget if I don't write something down. So we have these, and y'all can take these as well. But it's good for you to see, and then you'll see a pattern a lot of the times. You were asking about having bowel movements. I mean, you can see a pattern. What time is that happening? So it helps us get a good picture of when our child's using the restroom. Because right now, they're either wearing a pull-up or a diaper. How do we know when they urinate? Until they tell us, or the diaper's obviously full. Okay, so these are great data sheets, and they're great for you all to track your progress. 5-minute checks, very important. We call these dry pant checks. Teach your child to check their pants every 5 minutes to make sure that they are dry. Verbally prompt dry pants by putting the child's hand on their pants so they can learn to check themselves. So what you start is that you hand over hand, and we say dry pants in the crotch area. Dry pants, dry pants, dry pants. Then every 5 minutes, for usually within 30 minutes, if I'm in a home, by the time I leave in about an hour, they're doing it on their own. So dry pant check every 5 minutes, you're telling them. So at first you start with hand over hand, and then you're verbally prompting your child, dry pants, and they're checking, dry pants. So that's where we want them, because what does it do? It creates the awareness if their pants are dry or if their pants are wet. If the child is dry, provide reinforcement and praise. Great job, Johnny, your pants are dry. That's awesome. If they're not dry during dry pant checks, begin what we call positive practice. Positive practice. If the child is not dry during dry pant checks, be sure they touch the wet pants and tell them where they are supposed to potty. Then immediately take the child to the bathroom. Prompt the child to sit on the potty, and then prompt them to stand, pull up their wet pants, then go directly back to the spot that they urinated in and follow this routine again. So remember, they're in underwear at this point. So if they have an accident, you're probably going to see it. So repeat this positive practice procedure 5 times. So Johnny pees in the kitchen. And you're like, oh, into the potty. Sit on the potty, pull down the wet pants. Do not take the wet pants off. Stays in the wet pants, pull down, sit on the toilet. Get up, pull up the wet pants, go back to the kitchen where we had the accident. 5 times. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So what are we doing? We're practicing a whole bunch of, we don't pee in the kitchen, we pee in the bathroom. Positive practice. Where do we go potty? Not in the kitchen, but in the bathroom. After the 5th practice, have your child change into dry clothing and then return to the spot that they urinated and clean the spot. Hand over hand, bunch of paper towels, clean it up. There you go. Do not provide a lot of attention and limit your verbal prompts as much as possible. The positive practice is not fun, but it's essential for learning. So know in your mind, they're not going to like this too much. But usually 1 to 2 days of positive practice, it makes an impact. And they're like, I don't like this. I think I'm going to come out of the kitchen. I'm going to go to the bathroom. So they start to realize, again, you're doing lots of practice. You're telling them where they need to go to the bathroom. and you're showing them where they need to go to the bathroom, and then they start to use the bathroom. Okay? So this is probably the most difficult part because your heartstrings are being tugged because your child doesn't like doing this. But remember, it's an investment. You're doing lots of practice to get them to the point of, this is what I'm going to do in the bathroom. Okay? Initiation. This is our goal. This is where we want to get to. The first time your child self-initiates, you stop scheduling going to the bathroom. You don't have to use that timer. You don't have to prompt them every 30 minutes. They are scheduling themselves because they walk into the bathroom and you're like, whoa, what just happened? That's what we want. Now, we still want to do dry pant checks because that's awareness, and we want to keep the awareness up. But once they self-initiate, you don't need to schedule anymore. At this point, it is now your child scheduling when they go to the bathroom. Do they want a reward for using the bathroom, or are you going to do more positive practice? So that's the thing. So let's say they start initiating and then they just start having accidents again. It happens. Then we go right back to positive practice and we start scheduling again. But we do want to stop once they self-initiate because we're hoping that they're going to continue that behavior. But we can start back over if we need to. Okay? You do not want your child to become dependent on a schedule. You want them to self-initiate. So that's why we want to back off scheduling as soon as they self-initiate. Okay? And I love that one. Let's do this. Because they can. They can learn to do this. And it works. I promise. Okay. All right. Warning, 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 warning. Do not prompt your child to go to the bathroom. They will become dependent on you telling them they need to go. These are the statements. Please don't say these. Do not say, do you have to go potty? We don't want to ask them if they have to go potty. Because what are they going to say? No. 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 So then what are we going to do then if they say no? So we don't want to ask them. We just want to do. Let's go potty. If you go potty, you'll get a treat. Oh, come on, please. That doesn't work either. So we're not prompting with our words and asking them. We're just doing. We're just doing because we've already established a schedule. We've already established the behavior that we want because we've taught them what the bathroom behavior is. We've done positive practice. They get it. They know. Okay? So please don't do those things. What's next? Be sure to continue to fill your child's bladder with fluids until you have 20 consecutive initiations with no accidents. That means that they've done it 20 times on their own. 20 times on their own. Initially, more accidents will occur. Use the positive practice procedures when this happens. Remember, practice makes perfect with anything in life that you've learned to do. Driving. Oh boy, I needed a lot of practice to learn to drive. We got better at it. Same thing with toileting. The more practice you have, the better they will get at toileting. Take your child out into a public restroom and practice using the restroom. Don't be afraid of that. Now, you want to wait until you've got those 20 initiations, of course, but don't be afraid to go into a public restroom. Some children, they're not having a public restroom. So how are they going to learn if we don't take them? So we want to expose them. You might just walk in. I mean, I'm sure your kids have been in the restroom with you. So, but let them open the door. Let them go inside. You don't use the restroom. Let them see what's going on. But expose them to public places and public restrooms. Celebrate and celebrate some more your child's success. The accidents will cease within a short period of time. Usually the child begins to initiate more frequently. If your child initiates one time and never initiates again, then you start scheduling again, as I said. If you've done everything, they initiated, they went on their own, and then no more. Start back up again with our positive practice and start scheduling again. Now, here's the favorite topic, bowel movements. So in potty training, the first thing we want is a child to urinate, to void on the toilet. That's our first goal. This is usually always our second goal. It's pretty rare. I don't know if I've ever had a parent tell me we did bowel movement first and then we learned to pee in the potty. I just don't think I've ever had a parent tell me that. So accidents of this type will continue to occur after the voiding is under control. So in other words, let's say you've got your child in underwear, they're initiating, they're urinating in the toilet. And remember with boys, we always want a boy to sit first. Generally, we do not teach a boy to stand first. We teach him to sit. But, so we got them urinating, but they're still not pooping in the toilet. But you got to keep them in underwear. So they're pooping in underwear. So don't stress the mess. Resist the temptation to put a pull-up on a child. And the reason this happens is I've had this happen to me many times. I have parents that tell me, oh yes, we're in underwear. We wear underwear all day long. But they ask me for a pull-up to poop in. They request it. I'm like, oh dear. They don't want to poop in the toilet. So they hold their poop and they want a pull-up back. Does that happen to anybody? Yes, yep, it happens. So then we're still struggling because we're reintroducing the pull-up for a particular behavior. So let them poop in the underwear. Never go back to the pull-up. Do not use positive practice for bowel training because it won't work. Because bowel training, we don't poop frequently like we urinate, and we can't push food. I mean, we could, but it's not healthy. So with liquid is good for the body. It doesn't hurt the body. We're drinking a lot, it's good. But so bowel, you can't use positive practice. Do not require your child to clean the mess. I mean, require your child to clean the mess, I'm sorry. So part of the process, so they've got their underwear on, let's say they've pooped in their underwear. Remember, do we clean up in the living room or the kitchen? No, we go to the bathroom. Everything happens in the bathroom. So they pooped in their underwear, you're in the bathroom and you're not saying a lot, but the poop goes in the toilet, pulls down his pants, it's messy. Try to get the child to dump it in the toilet so he sees it goes in the toilet. Flushable wipes, handy wipes are good for cleaning. Toilet paper is dry, not so easy. Have a trash can, hand over hand, help him wipe, help him clean up, okay? Don't just you do it yourself because he's not going to learn if you do that.
Can I intercede?
Mm-hmm.
And please don't change your child laying down.
No, we don't do that. Because remember, at this age, we don't need to do that. Developmentally appropriate behavior is we stand, when we pull our pants down and pull them up, we don't lay down. I don't change my pants unless I just don't anymore. So eventually your child will begin to use the toilet for bowel movement. So what we see is we've established the behavior. We're urinating in the toilet. They've learned everything that they need to learn. Well, how much time are they spending in the potty? A lot, right? We're not pooping in the kitchen anymore. We're not pooping in the living room. Where all this is going on in the bathroom, it all transfers. Oh, I'm urinating sometime. I'm sitting, something's coming out. It's a bowel movement, yay! That's usually what happens. Now, kids will hold their poop. They will, because they don't want it to come out. So be cautious about their diet. And if you need to introduce fiber. But it will come out. Just not as frequently as urination.